So yes, just we have been discussing on the DML statements, and in that insert and delete, right? So I want to delete more records. Let's take before we proceed, I wanted to delete some more records on the org hiring manager. So right, these are the records which we have. So I still wanted to delete some more records. I want to delete 1.4 series also. So let's go ahead and execute. Yeah, now you see there is 1.4 series. Let's refresh. And the 1.4 series is gone. Okay. So let's do 1.5 series also, because we have created unnecessarily multiple records. So I just want to delete them. Okay, we will do one thing which starts with 1 series. Delete all those records. Done. So all the 1 series records should be deleted. So let's go ahead and see. That means records above 100 and one record 1 and 10 to 19. So all those records should be deleted, right? So let's refresh. Okay, so now we have limited records. Yeah, above 100 we don't have it, correct? Okay. So yes, now the next one which we have to discuss is the undelete statement. So undelete statement, what it is going to do, so we can restore one or more records based on our requirement. So similar to our configuration concept, where we can restore the records. So we can also do undelete also, but this is going to work only on the records which are available in our recycle bin. So similar to configuration, when we delete the records, they are going to stay in the recycle bin for 15 days. So similarly, using the DML statements also, if we are deleting the records, they are going to stay in a recycle bin for next 15 days. So so we can also restore the records which are present in the recycle bin, but once the 15-day period is gone, the record is completely gone. Okay. So for performing this undelete operation, if we want to restore a particular record, if we are within that 15-day period, then only we can restore. Otherwise, it's completely gone. Okay. Right. So as we already discussed, so for how to identify the deleted records, we have a field called is deleted, which is a checkbox field. So it can be, if is deleted is checked, that means it's a deleted record. If that means it's true. If it is unchecked, it's false. It's not a deleted record, right? So we can delete by using um, our DML statement called undelete. So undelete, give the record reference name, undelete, give the collection name, or you can use the database kind of concept. Right. So here, to check whether that record is deleted or not, we are going to make use of the field is deleted field. Okay. And this is the syntax for our undelete operation, undelete DML operation. Right. So yes, let's go ahead and write down some small example program. Write an Apex program to restore the hiring manager records based on specific characters at runtime. Right. So we deleted almost most of the uh, records, right? So 400 plus records, and we deleted, we made only 0 to 99 records available. And in that we have duplicates of course. So what we are going to do is let us go ahead and do restore on 1 to series records, something like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and write down that particular piece of code. Right. So this is our class code. I'm just going to minimize it, and let's go ahead and write another method, another procedure for undelete, to perform the undelete operation. Okay, right. So our DML operations helper class again. So what we are going to do is we are going to write a static method, static procedure, which is returning the records, I mean, restoring the records based on this criteria provided. Restore records. Okay, and here also I wanted to provide the criteria for restoring. Starting chars. Okay, so I wanted to give that starting chars, and then based on that only it is going to check. Okay, so how we are going to write the undelete statement. So first, our condition is like the starting chars should not be empty or null, right? If starting chars not equals to null, and starting chars not equals to empty. Okay, so then I'm going to perform the undelete operation. So how do I need to write the undelete? So it's just the same undelete word followed by our records, right? So previously we were writing two different scenarios, right? So here I'm going to use only this particular scenario. Okay, so undelete, select ID. Okay, so how do I need to write this particular code? Yeah, I will write a static SOQL query. So square braces, select ID, name, and sorry. Do we need any other field here to be selected? Any other field?
The Boolean checkbox.
Yeah, what is that?
You delete or what?
It's is deleted. Is deleted. You will have to remember this probably. Yeah, is deleted field. So it's available for all the records. It's a hidden field usually. If it is checked, then it's a deleted record. Okay. So is deleted, and from my hiring manager, right? I'm just copying the name because we should not miss the name. This is a custom object and the name should be the same. Okay. And followed by underscore C. How we have given it while defining the same name we should give, right? So that's where I was copying from hiring manager. Okay. Now the condition. Okay. So what's the condition we are going to mention? Can anyone think of? So the starting characters, we are going to give some criteria. And do we have any other criteria? We are working on deleted records, right? So any other criteria? Right. So the other criteria is deleted. Deleted is equals to what?
True.
True. Yes, this is one condition. What would be the other condition? So to put another condition, we can use the logical operator and. Okay. And what? Name, like. So same as we were using it previously. Starting characters plus our percentage, right? Do we need to specify anything here? Anything else here? So if you have listened to all the clauses of our SOQL queries, you should be answering this. So with which records we are going to deal? We are dealing with deleted records. So for deleted records also to be appeared in our SOQL query, what should we do? We should mention our clause called all rows. So this specifically says to our SOQL query that you need to pull the data of all deleted records also, right? So yes, that's it, right? And then if, so we are doing undelete and then closing our okay, what is the error? It's there. If this undelete is correct, do we have semicolon? That is missing, okay? Semicolon. Right, now the error should disappear. So here you understood, right? So I'm just checking. Yeah, error got disappeared. I'm just checking whether the entered characters are not null and not empty. And based on that, I'm undeleting those records. Which records? So for records which are deleted already, right? So I need to fetch this is deleted field also because I'm going to write a criteria based on that is deleted. So where is deleted is true. That means I am going to narrow down my search to the only to the deleted records. And in the deleted records, name starting with starting characters plus some characters. And why all rows? All rows will return deleted as well as undeleted, both the records, but deleted true. So it's narrow downing. And the undeleted records, it's removing this from this search criteria. It is only catching the deleted records. So those records I am undeleting. Hope you understood this.
So we don't need any time frame for the SOQL query. It will just pull all the records which are deleted in the past.
Time frame.
Mostly
No,
15
the
days,
default
right?
period is
Some
15
today.
days, man.
Yeah, we
Sorry?
deleted some today. We deleted some 2 days back. We deleted some in like 4-5 days back.
Yeah,
we're
if
pulling
they are
everything.
matching this criteria, they are matching this particular criteria, then we are going to undelete them. Probably the starting characters may not be the same, right?
If you only want what is deleted today, so we have to add one more condition, right? Like where is deleted is true and name is like dash all rows
and created you give the date, today's date. You can do that condition also.
Okay.
Yeah, we can put one more and write that condition. Created date is equals to today. Okay, so we can do that. Yeah, hope you understood this. So let's go ahead and execute. First, let me save. Restore records is our criteria. So which records you want to restore, which series? So we deleted everything above 100. Let's restore 17 series. Okay. So if you remember, we have deleted all the one series records. That means which starts with 1. That is record 1 and 10 to 19, and then everything above 100. All those we have deleted. So I want to restore 17 series records. Okay. So which are matching this criteria. So what will be returned? 170, 171 to 179. Only those records. So before running this, let us just go ahead and see the records. Okay. So here, if you see, so we don't have one series. So we have everything below 100 and above 100, we don't have anything. Okay. So now we will have the 17 series records coming up here. That means 170, 171, 172 till 179. Okay. So we are going to restore those records, right? So let's run that particular piece of code. Okay, so we saved it and no errors, and let's execute. Method does not exist. Restore records. Did we? SS. Okay, double S we mentioned. Yeah, this is what happens sometimes. So you should be very careful, right? So debug only, it doesn't show anything because we are not printing any statements. Okay. And how many, let's see how many SOQL query DML statements. One out of 150, right? So let's go ahead and see our org data. So here there are like 265 items and there are no one series items. So 17 series is going to appear now. Let's refresh. Yeah, if you see 17 series has appeared. So 17, 170, all those, right? So this is how we can perform the undelete operation. So yes, as you said, yeah, we can give multiple conditions, which is going to narrow down the number of records that are going to be fetched from our query, SOQL query. Okay. So let me copy paste this particular code in our right. So this is how we do undelete operation. So this is one of the DML statements in our DML statements. The next one is the update operation. So update is used to update the records. So till now we were doing some kind of operations on the records. So insert, we are just creating it. Delete, we are removing the um, already present records, but update is going to have one important thing, like we should have a record ID while we are updating, right? So by using the update statement, we can either update one or more records by assigning the new values to the fields. Okay. So while updating, we will have to pass the record ID. So the record should have the record ID. So while updating record, we should have the record ID already. So while creating, we don't need, right? So while insertion, we don't need record ID because while inserting, it's going to create a record ID. But while updating, we need the record ID. Okay. So how we are going to update. So this is how we can see the syntax: update the record reference number, reference name, or update collection name, or database methods update. Okay. Results is equal to database.update the collection name boolean, right? So these are the three ways which we are going to update the records. And we have like these steps, 3 steps to perform the update operation. Okay. So upon updating the records inside the object, we have these 3 steps. So first thing is we will have to get the record IDs for which we want to update. Okay, so for that, how we are doing, we are going to collect to our list collection the records which we want to update. Okay, so here if you see example, I'm creating a list of account. List accounts is equals to select ID from account. So I'm collecting some records into my list, and these records are having the record ID, and those records I'm going to update, right? So we will have to collect the records, assign the new values for the fields by iterating the collection. Okay. So if lst.accounts is not empty, then we are going to iterate this, like how we are going to add new values to the records. Okay. So that means we are changing, updating the values. We don't know what is present already, but we are updating it to hot and some annual revenue value. Okay. So the second step is update. And the third step is once all the records has been assigned the values, then commit the changes to the by using the update statement. So until unless we use the DML statement update, so it's not going to be saved in the database, right? So we just need to use update the LST accounts, that particular list into the database. So these are the steps how we are going to update. So first one, we will have to collect the records which we need to update. Second is update the records with the required values. Third is update, commit the changes to the database by using our DML statement update. So these are the 3 steps which we are going to do for our update operation. So yeah, so let's go ahead and do this particular assignment. Write an Apex program to assign values for hot rating account records as below. So for the criteria is hot rating accounts, and for them we have to update these values as this for all the hot rating accounts. Okay, annual revenue to 90 lakhs, 9 lakhs. Okay, so and then customer priority high, type customer type as customer direct. Okay, so let's go ahead and write down this simple code how we are going to update our account records. Okay, so let me write another new method for that particular update operation. Okay. So let's write a method called uh, update accounts. And here we are not passing any values. So we are just updating the records, but yes, we will be collecting which records we need to update. Those information we will be collecting. So step one, which records we need to update, we will be collecting those records, right? So list of account records, LA, I would use it, equals to new. Okay, so let's write SQL query, SOQL query. Okay, so which records I need to collect? Let's write a static query then. Select so what all fields we need? It was asking us hot rating customers in that annual revenue, customer priority type. Those fields also we need, right? So for that, ID, name, rating, and annual revenue from account. Okay, so we need the other fields also which we need to update, that is type and customer priority. Select ID, name, rating, annual revenue, type, and customer priority. I am not sure the customer priority name exactly. So let me just go ahead and look at the customer priority field details. Okay. So let's go to our org accounts. So this is accounts, and let's go to our object manager. Fields and relationships. So in that, what is the priority, customer priority field? Let's see. Customer priority is, so it's a pick list field and it's a custom field which we have created. Okay. So I'm copying it for our query and hope we have type. Yes, type is type. Customer priority, annual revenue is annual revenue. Yep. Right. So we are good. So if you are not clear on the fields which we need to use, you can go to object manager, one place. Second place is your schema builder. So you can go there and find out your fields which you want to update, right? Okay. And Here, the criteria given is we will have to update the account records whose rating is hot. So I want to filter it out where, so what is it? Rating is equals to hot, right? So of all the account records, I'm pulling the account records whose rating is hot. And for them, I will have to update uh, my records. Okay, so I'm pulling and storing them in my collection. So first step is done. Store the records in a list collection, any type of collection based on the requirement. And the second step is we will have to iterate for our records. For each record, we'll have to iterate and update the field values, right? So for that, I am using my for iterative statement. I'm dealing with account records. So I'm just creating account object here. And then I have to supply my, so which list, I mean, which set of values I have to iterate this particular for loop. So that is our LA. So the records which are present in this, for those records, I need to iterate this particular for loop, right? So that is how we write the enhanced for loop. So now we have to update the values. So this is our account record ID. And what are the values? Annual revenue. So go to our statement. So the annual revenue should be 90 lakhs something. Annual revenue is equals to 90 lakhs. Don't give the commas. ACC dot. The next one is customer priority is equals to high, and type is equals to customer direct. So what is the customer priority field API name? So we have to use that only. Field name, not the label, not the field label, field name we have to use, or we call it API name. And type is, okay. So for all the records whose rating is hot, I collected them in my list LA. And for that LA, I'm iterating this particular for loop with my account record, and I'm assigning the values. Annual revenue 90,000, customer priority is I, and account type A is customer direct, right? So these three fields I'm iterating, and then what should I do in the, then what should I do? The step 2 is completed now, right? So the step 3 is, what is step 3? The main thing, our DML operation, that is give the update. Okay, so update what? Yeah, what should I give here? Can anyone see? Right? So update our list to our account records. So this is how we can write the third step. So yes, okay. So are we missing anything? No problems. Any questions here? Or we are good? So what we are doing is step one, collecting the records based on our criteria because we need the record ID for update operation. So we are collecting them in a list of type account. Okay. And the criteria is we are collecting all the hot rating customers. We are collecting them. Second one is we are updating the values. So we have used an enhanced for loop to update the values of each so these three values we were updating, other values we are not updating, we are not touching. So the annual revenue should be this one, customer priority high, customer type as direct, customer direct. So these three fields are we are updating, and then we are committing those changes back to the database, update LE, right? So these are the records. So before running this, there are no syntactical errors, but before running this, I wanted to show you our account record, how it was looking, right? So all accounts, let's see. So 41 items are there, and in that, let's sort with the rating. Right. So many hot rating customers, right? So first three fields that are empty. After that, so many hot rating customers. So for them, where is the annual revenue? Yeah, annual revenue, it is something, some different fields, right? So we are going to update them as 90 lakhs. Okay. So we are going to update all the hot rating customers as annual revenue as 90 lakhs and type and let's display those fields also. Select fields to display. Which field? Type and type is here. Okay. And customer priority. Okay. Customer priority is also here. Okay. So both are already there. So let's pull them to the so let's pull them near customer annual revenue. Okay. And customer priority. Yeah. Save. So annual revenue, type, and customer priority, right? And rating hot. Okay. So rating also we will pull it near side by side so that it will be easy for us to identify the changes done. So now if you see all the hot rating customers have different values. So now it is going to be high and everything is going to be customer direct and all those annual revenues are going to be 90 lakhs, right? So once we execute that particular piece of code, which we have written. So let's go ahead and run that code. Right, database helper. Yeah, before we will have to save this. Update accounts is our method. So, and we are not passing any parameters for the update account. And it's a static method, so we can call it directly, right? So this is DML operations helper dot update accounts. Let's go ahead and execute. Up. DML exception. Okay. So for our account, if you remember, our billing city fields cannot be blank. That is the criteria, that is the mandatory field, and that's why it's throwing some error. Billing city is equals to, I'm updating all the billing city field values as Hyderabad also for this particular. Right. So let's go ahead and execute it. Hope it's good. Save. Right. Should it be good? Yeah. So now let's go ahead and see our account records. So this is how it is now, 41 items, and in that hot rating we have this many. So let's go ahead and refresh our accounts. And here you go. Okay. So, so if you see, let's sort based on the rating. So all the hot rating, customer priority high, customer type, customer direct, and the annual revenue 90. So all the hot rating customers, we can see the same, right? So we have update, right? So this is how we will have to do update operation using our DML operations. Okay. So the 3 steps involved in the update operation is, first one, collect the records which you want to update in a collection type. Okay. Second one is update the fields which you want to update and using any iterative statements. And third one is you have to run the update DML operation, right? So make sure you are running the update operation on the collection type, and out it should be out of the for loop. It should not be inside the for loop, which will cause our governor limits issue or the exceptions, right? So this is how we can do this particular small example. So I just place the code here, right? So inside the class code, you place this particular uh, procedure, and then you can run it this way. Okay. So the next one is write an Apex program to assign the annual revenue values for below for each account based on the industry name, right? So here, can anyone think of what should we use? How? So industry name is given, and for each industry name, annual revenue should be changed. How do we do that? Which type of statements we might be using? Right? So let's go ahead and write down this particular piece of code. So how we are going to write is we will be thinking how to write this particular piece of code. So to achieve this kind of operations, what we usually do, there is one particular type of statement which I have discussed with you, which was released late when compared to other programming languages already have, but it was released around 2018 winter release. So that is the statement which we are going to use. What is that? Do you remember?
Switch on.
Yeah.
Switch on it.
Yeah. Be confident. Yes. Switch statement. Right. So let's go ahead and write a small method by making use of switch statement, because why switch? We have given a list of values, and for each value, we will have to assign annual revenue value. So we can use the switch statement in this case. So this is how you will have to decide on what to use, which programming concept to use, dealing with which type of business logic. Okay. So update accounts AR, annual revenue. Okay. So I'm writing this particular method. Okay. So what do we need to do first? So this is our static procedure, non-parameterized procedure. So first I will have to collect all the industry names into one particular array. Okay. So from that array, I'm going to traverse through using my switch statement. So how do I need to do? Let's define an array string industry names. So this is an array. Okay. String of type string data type, and is equals to new string array. And what are the values I have? I already have the industry name values with me. Okay. So those are from my problem statement. It's banking, right? Banking, finance, insurance. Yeah, banking, finance, insurance, manufacturing. So all those I'm collecting here. Finance, insurance, manufacturing, and what else? Education, technology. Okay, so these are the values or which are present, string values which are present on my uh, industry names. So on my account object, these are the industry names which are present, which I wanted to update. So based on each of this industry name, their annual revenue needs to be updated. So I have declared a string array industry names, right? And I'm collecting all the industries which I have in my account record. Okay. So the next is, what do I need to do? So our basic criteria. First step is collecting the records which we need to update, right? So where do we need to collect the records? In in a collection. So list of account LST, let's say, is equals to. So which accounts I need to process? Do we have any criteria? So annual revenue for each account based on the industry name. So no special criteria given. So we just will collect all the account records. Okay. And which have where the industry name is present in our industry names array. Okay. So select, and let's write So what all fields we need? We will have to write down ID, name, okay, industry. This is main important field, industry, and then what we are talking about, annual revenue. And yeah, these are the basic fields which we need from account object. So we don't have any criteria for all the account objects, but where the industry name is present in this particular industry names. Okay, where industry is in our industry names array, right? Okay, so this is how you will have to use your in operator. So if you have an array or collection list, and when you need to check from the list, you will have to use the in operator. So you can check if this particular industry field is available in this particular industry names array or not. Okay, so that is how you use the in operator on our SOQL query, SOQL query. Okay, right. So first step is done. We have collected the records. Second step is we will be updating the records. For that, we are writing a condition saying this is not empty. So is empty. It's not is empty. If it is true, then we are writing our iterative statement. So, right. So the iterative statement would be any kind of loop. Yeah, I'm using again the for loop only. So for lst dot is empty, correct? So for loop. So in the for loop, what do I need to do? I need to pass my lst, and since this is my account record, so I will be creating an account object AC, and for that I'm passing my list values to traverse through in the loop. Okay, right? Then what I'm doing, so here I will need to update the uh, annual revenue field, right? So annual revenue field, how I'm going to update is, so within for loop, I'm going to write my actual condition. So here the condition is like, for if it is banking, then you update the annual revenue with so and so amount. If it is finance, you update the amount with some XYZ amount, right? So we have been given the criteria. So for that, I'm using the switch statement. So within the for loop, I'm writing the switch statement, switch on. Okay. So my AC dot industry. Okay. So how do I need to write my switch statement? For the cases are like when. It's called case in C and Java, but here it is called when. So when the industry is banking, I wanted to update my annual revenue as AC dot annual revenue is equals to. So they have given a value for me, one Okay, right. So this is one case. So similarly, we will be writing the cases for all the industry values. So what all we have: finance, education, insurance, manufacturing, education, technology. So let's say, so make sure your spellings are the same because that is where it is going to traverse. So for finance, I am taking the value as 97. Okay. So the next one is my insurance, manufacturing, education, technology. Insurance. So insurance, it is some 1,90,000. Sorry, 19 lakhs. Manufacturing, the insurance, it's manufacturing. And for manufacturing, some okay, education, next one, and then technology. So different cases with the when statement. And then the last one is technology. Okay, so here we are only traversing through the given set of cases. We are not giving any default value because we have already picked up only the required cases into our for loop, right? So we have picked up only into our list, we have picked up only the account records whose industry is already available only in this list. So if it is not in this list, those records we are not picking up. So only those records are there. So there is we will not be writing the default case for our switch statement. Okay, so done. So switch statement, close it, close. And then what we need to do, so the second step is done. We have updated the records. What is the third step? Third step is we will have to run the DML operation, update our LST. So update our records which we fetched in this particular. Okay. So what is missing? This switch statement closure. Okay, we should not put this update in the for loop. This is coming in the for loop. So delete and close that for loop, right? After closing the for loop, I'm updating my the DML statement. And after updating, what else? If loop I have to close, and then the procedure. If loop procedure, right? So we are good, right? AC dot annual revenue. Oh, so ANNUAL, annual revenue. That's where so many problems are shown here. spelling mistake of the field name. NNUL revenue, right? So this error should disappear now. Okay, hope you guys are understanding or following here. So first, what we did, we took the industry names in a string array called industry names. Whatever we have the list, those only. So from that, from all the account records, we are collecting the account records which are having the industry names in this particular list only. Okay. So if there is some industry like healthcare, so that we are not picking up in our, we are not collecting those records. So we have collected the records which have the industry name here, right? So let's hope. Okay, so let's just have a cross check on the syntactical errors, right? So if list dot is empty not equal true, then I'm going to go with for loop, yeah, traverse, and then the switch statement, switch on account dot industry when banking, yeah, AC dot annual revenue, when finance, when insurance, when manufacturing, yeah. So what are these errors? Expression variable does not exist when. Okay, so 1 second, let me check. So when is expecting the block? Yeah. Yeah, that's the syntax error. So you see the errors are getting disappeared now. So if you remember, our case statements usually are written in block with, but luckily we do not have something like break statements in our switch statement. So for each case, probably you will have to write down the block statements. That's where it is asking for right. So now it should be good. Yeah, all the problems are gone. So yeah, hope you understood this particular piece of code. Let's save it first. And what we are doing, so before, let's check our records before we run this, because after running, so industry. So banking, if you see these two records, let's sort by industry. Oh, there are many blank records. Right. So banking, there are three records, and annual revenue is some 35 and 2 lakhs, and one is blank. So what we are updating in our thing is 1 crore 40 lakhs, right? So let's go ahead and see whether that update is getting updated or not. Okay. So let's run our piece of code. So now there are no syntactical errors, and oh, yeah, we saved it. Okay. So let's go ahead and execute. So update accounts annual revenue. Okay. Right. So yeah. So let's execute billing city. We are always forgetting the billing city. Right. Where this, but we are not doing anything with the billing city. Let's, did I save it? Billing city should not be blank. Okay. So I'm also updating the billing city for all of these records as, let's say, Chennai, because it's there are records which do not have billing city mentioned in our, you have to write it as AC dot. So while we did configuration, we have created so many records without billing city. That's where it is giving the error here. So I am updating all the billing cities as Chennai for all these 5 types of industries which we are working on. Let's see. So we are updating two values, annual revenue and billing city. So debug only will not give anything because we didn't put any debug statements. Let's go ahead and see our accounts. So here, if you see banking and billing city is also blank. So now it should be Chennai, right? So let's refresh and so banking and the billing city also be updated and the annual revenue also be updated. If you go to education also we have updated 85 lakhs and the billing city as Chennai, right? So this is how we can do our update operation on our programs, right? So hope you understood. So what we did first, which industry names we want to update, we collected them in an array, string array, and we collected the records which we need to update. So, and those records which are present in the industry names, whose industry names are present in this particular string array only, those records we have collected. And in that we are going to perform the operation, the iteration for loop. So within for loop, we have written switch statement because if it is different type of industry, we are updating the annual revenue accordingly, right? So we use the switch statement, and then we have at the finally we have run the DML statement update. So this is how we can do update operation on our records. So let's copy paste this particular record in code into our assignment. And then the execution statement as well. Right. So hope you understood this class. So how we performed undelete operation and how we are able to retrieve the records we have discussed, and also how we performed right. So this is how we perform update operation and undelete operation using our DML statements, right? So this is all for today's class, and I will share you the assignments and notes. And don't worry, but keep practicing the assignments. And yeah, we will have classes
One
tomorrow
last
as well.
question, Dilip.
Yes, yes,
So
proceed.
in real time, if we face like such problem, right, like the validation rule, is there a way to bypass it, or we have to manually enter the field details and we have to go through it?
Validation rule. No, that's the required field. So we will have to, for each
We
object,
are,
we will have to check the required field. So we will have to make sure that we pass values to the required fields while creating, updating, inserting records. So that's the basic part. Yeah.
Mhm. No, what I meant to say is like, see, we created some records like a year back, and all of a sudden this month we created a validation rule on billing city. So all those records which were created like before this month does not have billing city.
Yeah.
We are updating old records, all
Okay.
year long
Okay.
records.
Mhm.
So billing city is gonna be a major issue here, right? Because like
Correct.
many of the records does not have billing city.
Hmm.
So the only way is like just turn off the validation rule, or do we have any bypass to uh, overcome the validation rule?
Okay. Uh, yeah, actually, your question is having ambiguity. So we will have to prioritize whether we have to make use of the validation rule or not. First, we have to think on it. Okay. So you are
Hmm.
saying we created a validation rule. Now, to avoid that, can we bypass validation rule, right? So that our priority, the business requirement priority. So if business requirement says for every record we need to have billing city for sure,
Hmm.
yes, we have to keep that validation rule in place, but for time being we will be updating the old records billing city as a specific value based
Hmm.
on our requirement. Need to be discovered, need to be find out, something
Hmm.
like that, need to get value, something like that, and we'll update that billing city value with this particular field. So
Okay, so
while doing
it's
the
mostly
yeah
the client's call, right?
yeah.
The-
No, but cleaning up the data warehouse is actually administrator's responsibility, developer's responsibility to keep the
Hmm.
clean data on the system. But
Yeah.
yes, if the project comes in between, they ask us to pull out all their old data into Salesforce system. In that case, initially we will be pulling it into the Salesforce system, but later on, it's our responsibility to clean up the data. But yes, we will be checking with the client only and with the data warehouse team of the client who were handling the previous data. So based on they require their inputs, we will be updating. But keeping clean data in the Salesforce system is the best practice. Okay. Yeah. Till we update the exact value, probably we will be putting a temporary value on the billing city for the old records, because we actually do not know the value and we will have to find time getting those details. So for that reason, we will be putting some dummy value for the time. But yes, cleaning up data is very important. So yeah, even cleaning up data also, it takes some weeks time and a couple of resources sit on cleaning up data. Yeah, that happens in the real time scenario.
Exactly.
All right. Any other questions? Okay. So tomorrow also we will be having classes. Let's meet again tomorrow. Have a good day. Thank you.